Hello everyone, good evening, how are you all? So yes, welcome here again, and today we are going to discuss all the questions which were previously asked in Ssc Cgl examination. Today what we are going to study? We are going to have the questions, that is mixed questions part from the science section. So yes, there's a first question on the screen and the question is, which of the following gas is used in the yellowish lamps which is used as street lights? So we might have seen those street lights which are giving you yellow color. So it is because of what? Is it because of sodium? Is it because of neon? Is it hydrogen or is it nitrogen? So let's start with the question and answer session, and yes, everyone who is there on the channel, please start commenting, please start giving answers. So yes, I want the answer from everyone, and everyone who is there in the session, please start giving answers so that I can start this session now. So yes, if I talk about these particular lights, please remember, we have already discussed about neon, where when we were talking about hotels, in those hotels, we were discussing about those orangish lights, right? Which can even penetrate through the fog. So if I talk about this option, that is neon, it can even penetrate through the fog part, but we know that its color is not yellow. If I talk about those yellowish lamps are actually made up of sodium. So this is the important one. Actually, as soon as we see those lamps, the first answer that comes into our mind is a neon. Please remember, that's not neon, that would be sodium. So yes, the gas which is there in the yellowish lamps as the street light, that would be sodium, right? Please remember this part. I'm again saying, for the yellow part, you will be going with this sodium. But if I'll talk about that reddish color, or I'll talk about that orange color, that is neon, where we actually use it in the hotels, for the hotel lights, where we have those hoardings and all, where hotel's name is displayed. Please remember, there's a difference between two, okay? And the main feature of this neon light is it can even penetrate through the fog. But what about this answer? So I'll talk about the gas which is used in the yellowish lamps in the street lights, that is your sodium. So we have discussed two of the questions here. Next, in a magnifying glass, dash lens is used. What do you think? Which particular lens might be used? So is it convex, is it concave, is it plano-concave, or is it plano-convex? What do you think? In the morning session, when we were discussing about the questions in the CHSL examination, there we had a question where I discussed, when I'm talking about the image, if I'll talk about the magnified image, and if I'm talking about lens over here, so lens and mirror, they were acting totally opposite. That is, if I talk about mirror, I know that when I'm talking about concave mirror, it is going to give me larger image. But if I talk about convex mirror, it will be giving me small image, or I'll say diminished image. But this case is totally opposite in the case of lens. If I talk about the case of lens, what is going to happen? In the case of lens, this concave will have small, and if I'll talk about convex, here it would be large. Now just try to have a look at the question. The question was, in a magnifying glass, which lens must be used? Now just think of a scenario in which we are talking about magnifying glass. That means we are talking about bigger image, right? Now since I'm talking about bigger image, we know that for the bigger image, what is going to be the answer? The correct answer is going to be convex. Got my point? So yes, for the lens part, convex is going to give you the larger image, but for the lens part, convex will be with the smaller image, where the question which is asked in the examination is side mirror. So I'll talk about the side mirrors. There convex mirrors are used, but if I'll talk about lens, they will be giving magnified image. So yes, in a magnifying glass, we'll be using convex lens. Very simple, right? Next. So next question is, when an object is kept between two parallel mirrors, what is the number of images formed? Now, this question, when we have a look at this question, we all go for those formulas and try to relate it. But just have a look at the real world example. If I'll go with the real world example, just think of it. If there's a mirror over here and we have another mirror over here. Now, if I'll talk about two of the mirrors, if there's an object which is lying between these two mirrors, just think of a scenario. What is going to happen? Here, you can talk about a barber shop where when we go in a barber shop, when we have a haircut or those salons, in those salons, when we sit, we have seen that one of the mirror is placed in front of us and one of the mirror is behind us. And when we try to have a look at those images, if I'll try to have a look at those particular images, what is going to happen? When I'm sitting, first image will come where my face is there, second image where my head is there, third with the face, fourth with the head, and so on. Why is it so? This is actually the logic where two of the mirrors which are present are parallel in nature. And whenever two mirrors would be parallel, how many images are formed? Yes, you got that right. In this condition, you are going to get those infinite images. True? So yes, many of the questions which are asked in the examination now, you can just try to have a look at it where just try to relate it with the real world example as we have done here. So how many images were formed? Here infinite images were formed. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be option number D, that is infinite. Simple. Okay, let's have a look at the next question now. Which of these travels in a glass with the minimum velocity? Yes, again the question from the Cgl part. Obviously all the questions are from the Cgl part, but what do you think? What is going to be the correct answer over here? Let's see who can answer this. If I'll talk about this part, here we must be aware of those frequencies and wavelengths. Remember that part? So here, if I'll talk about those frequencies and wavelength, we have a sequence order. What is that? Webb, Gyur. And when we move from violet towards the red, if someone will ask me about the wavelength, please remember, in this scenario, wavelength is going to increase. That is, while moving from left to right, wavelength will increase. What is going to happen? Here, wavelength is going to increase, that is, lambda will be maximum. Now, this means red light is having the maximum wavelength. If I'll talk about the red light, it is having the maximum wavelength, but we know that if I'll come here, scattering will be maximum for the violet light. Now, since we are talking about the scattering part over here, please remember, what they are asking? They are asking about the velocities. So obviously wavelength of red is maximum. Here velocity would be maximum for red. But if I'll talk about the minimum velocity, so minimum velocity would be for violet light. Minimum velocity is going to be there for the violet light. And yes, here what is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be violet. Next, we have a next question over here. And the next question is, the vector of disease sleeping sickness is dash. So we have sand fly, house fly, fruit fly, Ssc fly. What is the correct answer over here? And everyone who is there in the session, please start answering. Is there any issue, future officer? In your name itself, officer is there. Then why you are going negative? So what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the sleeping sickness. See, please remember, this question is again from the previous year part. Whenever we'll talk about a vector disease, that is for the sleeping sickness, what is it? Do you know, in Africa, that is I'm talking about from the African continent, obviously Sahara desert is there, right? Now here, if I talk about the sleeping sickness, please remember, what is there? Here we have a protozoan where I'll talk about, was it that protozoa trypanosoma. I'll write it for you. Future I'll discuss with you, just a second. So I'll talk about trypanosoma. If it enters, it will create an issue that is known as sleeping sickness. Now what is sleeping sickness? From the name itself it is clear. Sleeping sickness, that is, you will feel like as if you are sleeping, or sleepy in nature, sorry. It will actually feel like as if we are feeling sleepy. Now that means sleeping part. Which particular part of the body is actually dealing with it? Obviously our brain, right? So what is going to happen? The sleeping sickness is the one where it will lead to the issue in our nervous system, where it will create issue in our nervous system where we will feel sleepy. The most important thing is this trypanosoma which is there, if it is present in the Ssc fly and this Ssc fly comes to you, you will suffer from this issue that is known as sleeping sickness. So yes, which is that particular fly? That fly is known as Ssc fly. Now future officer was asking something. Future officer is saying, don't worry officer, AK, you are not going to fail. Just give your maximum efforts and do not forget to give those tests. Once you are preparing, after preparation of that particular chapter or that particular topic, please start giving tests as well. once you start giving tests, now you will be aware of what kind of questions are asked in CGL. Don't directly depend on the books. Please go with the previous year questions as well. It's very, very important. Okay. So yes, if we'll talk about the CGL examination, it happens each year, every year. But obviously, there's an age limit. So whatever your age is, please try to have a look at it. And yes, please try to be in such a competition that you have some of your friends who are actually at that competition level, so that you can try to just relate with them, or you will be having that competition around you, right? And don't worry, please stay positive. There are several students who have started from the scratch, but they have succeeded. Yes, but there is a key to success, and that is your previous year questions and all those test series which are related to CGL. Do not forget missing that part, or do not miss that part. That is your test series. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question now. Next question is, all are protozoan diseases except what? So these are here, three of the options are there which are protozoan diseases. That is, those particular diseases will be caused by protozoa. Now, one of the option is which is not related to protozoan disease. Can you give that answer? We have four of the options here. Let's see who can give this answer. Waiting for the answer, please. Question is, which among the following is a protozoan disease? Sorry, which among the following is not a protozoan disease? So, who can give me the answer? Waiting for the answer, please. See, there's a disease. When I'll talk about a leg, it actually swells in such a manner, it seems as if it is elephant's leg. And that issue is actually because of filarial disease. It is a filarial disease where we talk about elephantiasis. From the name itself, it is clear. What? Elephantiasis. Those legs actually swells, and it seems as if they are made up of, they are actually legs of elephant. Yes, that is elephantiasis. That is a filarial disease. And if I talk about protozoan diseases, this oriental sore, sleeping sickness, kala azar, they all are because of protozoa. Once the protozoa enters into the body, these issues come. But elephantiasis is the one which is not a protozoan disease. So here, option number A, that is elephantiasis, would be the correct answer. Next, talking about Exampur official application, future officer had a doubt. So what can be done for this? So the best part is start giving tests. So here I'll talk about that particular application. You have free live, you have several things here where you have live paid courses with the test series. You have free subject wise, topic wise quiz with the report card. That means whenever you are giving test, you will be getting report card also. What is your performance? You can actually judge there. Then we have job alert, admit card, examination date, where you are asking now, is CGL occurring every time or every year? Yes, it is every year, and also you must be aware of those notifications. So how you will be getting those notifications? From this application. Then we have free all India scholarship test with the report card. Then topic wise free live classes, free full length and sectional test with the report card. Apart from that, we have free exam wise PDF, practice at PDFs. Then we have the most important thing, that is your current affairs. That is daily, weekly and monthly current affairs. Then we have unlimited subject wise practice questions. All these at a single platform. Just go to the Play Store, type Exampur over there. Then click on the install button, click on the open part, just do the registration and start using it. Okay, so we have next question. Ringworm is a disease which is spread by what? So we have four options here. Let's see who can give this answer. So we have questions here. Let's see who can answer this part. Ringworm is a disease which is spread by what? Is it bacteria, protozoa, viral or fungal? What is that? Can you answer this part? Waiting for the answer, everyone. So we had a discussion on this trick. The trick was where I was talking about a fungal disease, and that was what? This is actually for the Hindi medium candidates. If you are from the Hindi medium part, you can actually relate it. And that trick was, it was ganja, damad, khai, fruit. So this was a trick where we are talking about son-in-law who is actually eating fruit. So this is only for the Hindi medium candidates. You can easily relate it. That's why I've written it. So ganja was relating with ganjapan. That is what? Baldness. What is that? Baldness. Next issue is, just have a look. Dad. That is, you know we are talking about that structure which is round in shape, which actually gets onto our body. and that's what this structure is the one which is because of this fungus. Then if I'll talk about this kha, from here, you can actually let this from this part, that is kha, that is what here you can talk about those itching and all. And finally comes your A foot, that is your athlete's foot. So all these issues, athlete's foot, then baldness, or those particular issues where you are talking about those ringworm part, all these are fungal diseases. So yes, ringworm is a disease which is spread by what? So is it bacterial, fungal, viral, or what? So yes, it is spread by fungi. And here obviously option D is going to be the correct answer. Next, one more thing is, if I talk about those mushroom part, so we think that it is fungi, should we eat? Yeah, mushroom is very helpful for our body. It is useful for keeping our body safe and sound. So yes, if I talk about mushroom, so mushroom is also actually its part. But yeah, please remember those mushrooms must be purchased from vegetable shop only. Do not directly use those mushrooms which are actually present on the roadsides, because they might be poisonous. Okay, so we have next question here. Anglo-Nubian is the breed of what? Is it sheep, goat, poultry, or cattle? So what is the correct answer over here? Yes, if I'll talk about this Anglo-Nubian, it is the breed of what? See, if I'll talk about these options, that is sheep, goat, poultry, or cattle. So obviously in the cattle part, you can discuss about those cows, buffaloes. But the most important thing is this Anglo-Nubian. Now this is from the family of what? So this is actually from the family of goat. Please remember, here option number B, that is goat, is going to be the correct answer. And please remember, once again I am saying all these questions were previously asked, and these are from the CGL section. So do not forget, each and every question is going to be very, very important, and here you can get the idea of what kind of questions are asked in the examination. Next question we have, which of the following is the largest gland in human body? Now this question is from endocrine system, right? Now let's see who can answer this part, and everyone who's there in the session kindly give me your attendance so that I can start interaction with you. If I talk here, largest gland in our body, what are glands? Glands are those parts from where we have secretion of certain chemicals, in which I can talk about hormones. Here, this gland, if I talk about this thyroid, it is actually a gland, liver is gland, kidney is gland, pancreas is gland. So what all those particular chemicals which I was talking about, hormones. So which are those hormones which are coming out from them? So I'll talk about thyroid. So from thyroid, we get thyroxine. If I'll talk about liver, from liver, what you are going to get? If I talk about digestive system, in the digestive system we will get to know, from this liver we are going to get bile juice. What is that? That is actually your bile juice. Next, if I talk about kidney, so kidney is the part on which we have a gland that is known as adrenal gland. Please do not forget, kidney is a part where we have adrenal gland, and this adrenal gland is the one from where we have certain hormones which are very, very important for us. And the most important thing is those hormones which are known as 3F. What is 3F? This F stands for fear, then we have fight, and then we have flight. So fear, fight, and flight, these are the ones which are relating to what? Adrenaline. So there's a hormone that is known as adrenaline. It is the hormone that is known as adrenaline, which is helping you out in facing difficulties, right? Okay, so now talking about pancreas, what you will get from pancreas? From pancreas you are going to get pancreatic juice. What you will get? You will get pancreatic juice. Apart from that, pancreas is the location where we have isolate of Langerhans. What are they? They are known as isolate of Langerhans. And yes, from these isolates of Langerhans, you are going to get alpha, then beta and delta cells. And from these beta cells, you are going to get insulin. All these things are very, very important. Now, if I talk about the largest gland, that is going to be your liver. But since the question is asked from the largest gland, we are talking about liver. Now, we are doing its 360-degree analysis. So, yes, if I talk about its postmortem of this question, please remember one more thing. If someone asks you about the smallest gland, what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the smallest gland. Please remember which one is going to be the smallest gland. Smallest gland is going to be pineal gland. What is that? Smallest gland is actually pineal gland, and the largest gland is your liver. Very important. Okay, so let's move forward to the next question now. Next is, in which of the following class can we put adrenaline? We have discussed about this hormone, right? And what was that? I was just discussing about this hormone. Please remember, this hormone is actually known as 3F hormone. Where this 3F is relating to what? The 3F relates to fight, then we have fear, and then we have flight. So what is that? We have fight, fear, and flight. And it's very, very important. Do not forget this part, right? Okay. So yes, this adrenaline was present where? If I talk about a kidney, so above this kidney, we have a adrenal gland, from where we are getting this adrenaline. And the most important thing is, from here you are getting this adrenaline hormone, which is actually a hormone. So option number A is going to be your correct answer. Next we have muscles are connected to bones by the connective tissue called as what? Now we have this question. It's very basic one, but it's important. Let's see who can answer this part. Since I'm talking about muscles which are connected to bones, now muscles to bones. So you can directly relate from this trick. What is that? Question was asked, muscle to bones. So bones to muscle or muscle to bone. So what is coming in between? T. Bone to muscle, BTM. Just try to relate this part. So this is actually a trick where if I talk about T, T standing for what? T standing for tendon, right? So these are the tricks where you can actually use it. Okay, so here, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be tendon. Simple. Now, next question we have, how many parts are there in human brain, or in how many parts human brain is divided? So let's see who can answer this part. And everyone who's there in this session, now please start commenting so that I can have a discussion with you. So I'm waiting for the answer from everyone, then I'll move forward. Till then I want answer from everyone. Waiting for the answer, please. Answer, please. Let's see who can answer this part. It's a very basic one. If I'll talk about this part, that is, if I'll talk about brain, just try to relate it. Human brain is divided into 3 parts. That is forebrain, then we have midbrain, and then we have hindbrain. So forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Here what all parts are there? If I talk about forebrain, we have cerebrum over here. What is that? Cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain. And please remember, your thinking area, your intelligence, they are where? They are actually present in this cerebrum part. But if I talk about midbrain and hindbrain, what is it? In the midbrain, you can talk about those particular part where I'm talking about a part that is diencephalon, right? So yes, if I talk about hindbrain, what we are going to discuss? We will be discussing there medulla oblongata, which is a part which is dealing with all those involuntary actions. So in short, if I talk about brain, so it is divided into 3 different parts. That is option number B is going to be the correct answer. Next, where is stapes found in human body? Again, a question from Cgl part. Obviously, all the questions are from the Cgl part. Let's see who can answer this part. Waiting for the answer, please. Waiting for the answer, everyone. Let's see who can answer this part. So we have a question. Where is stapes found in human body? So can you answer this? Where is stapes found? Where is the stapes found? See, if I talk about the stapes, please remember, if I talk about a part of a body, that is ear. In ear, we have 3 different type of bones, and I have a trick over here, and that trick is SIM. Just try to relate with this part. That is SIM. What is SIM? S stands for stapes, I stands for incus, and M stands for malleus. What is that? Stapes, incus, and malleus. Now here, since we are talking about stapes, where is it? It is present in the bone. Sorry, in the ear bone. Now the most important thing is, if it is asked in the examination, what is it? The smallest bone and the largest bone. How you are going to link it? So knowledge is here. Hello knowledge, how are you? So knowledge with Rohit Joshi. How are you? So yes, what I was talking about, I was talking about a part that is stapes. From here, the question which is asked in the examination is smallest bone. Please remember, smallest bone is actually your stapes. But if someone asks you about the smallest muscle, how you are going to relate it? I have already given that trick. If I talk about the muscle, from the name itself you can relate it. You have to just apply ADS over there. What is that? If I talk about the smallest muscle, what is it? That is actually a stapedies. Stapedies. We have just put ADS over there. Okay, Rohit. Fine. So actually name was so long, where I was actually confused. Okay, Rohit. Fine. So what I was talking about, Rohit, if I talk about stapes, it is the smallest bone. Where it is present? In the ear. In the ear, we have three types of bones. That is stapes, incus and malleus. With the same, we can have a look at that. And if someone asks you about the smallest muscle, that would be stapedius, which is actually present at the same location. Okay. So we have next question here. And the next is, two bones are connected to each other by a connective tissue, which is called what? So two bones are connected together. I have just given you the trick. What was that? If someone asked you, what is that part which is connecting bones to muscles or muscle to bone? So from this part itself, bone to muscle. So just have a look at it. That is T for two and T for tendon. So here, tendon was connecting bone to muscle. In the similar manner, if I talk about bone to bone, so if we have a trick over here, and what is that? True, absolutely correct, Rohit. We have a trick here. That is what? Bulb. What is that? Bulb. From bulb part, that is, this is also bone, this is also bone, and this L is standing for ligament. So ligament is the one which is connecting bones to bones. So absolutely correct, Rohit. Absolutely correct. Here, the correct answer is going to be what? The correct answer is going to be option B, that is ligament. Simple. Next we have, how many pairs of ribs are there in the human body? What do you think? How many ribs are there? So is it 13 pairs, 11 pairs, 12 pairs or 14 pairs? What do you think? What is the correct answer over here? So waiting for the answer, please. So Rohit and all the other candidates who are there in the session, please join it as soon as possible so that we can start discussion over here. So Rohit is saying, sir, group D mein 69. So S. Young Kumar is going with 12 and that's totally correct. And Rohit, are you from the general category or OBC? What's the quota? Is there any quota? Rohit is not sure. He's saying 13 maybe. See Rohit. Young Kumar, absolutely correct. If I talk about the number of ribs, we have 24 ribs, right? And those 24 ribs, but they are asking in pairs. So obviously, one pair is going to have two. So obviously, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be 12. Now, this was the basic question which was asked in previous year. That's why I've kept it. But if I talk about the total number, so we know that if I talk about the bones, its total number is 206, but it is divided into two parts. One is the axial part and another one is the appendicular part. What is that? One is axial and another one is appendicular. So we'll try to relate it so you can directly have a look. What is that? In the axial part, in a straight manner, all those bones which are present, that is your cranial part, facial part, then your ribs part, they all are coming in the axial part. But in the appendicular, we have the outermost part, that is your limbs part that comes in. So yes, 12 would be the correct answer over here, 12 pairs. Rohit, okay, all the very best. And it totally depends upon the location where you have given. So there is no need to take any tension. Because we will be having different cutoffs for different zones. So I guess in the zone you have applied, there the cutoff will go in such a manner that you will be selected. Okay, so all the very best. Let's have a look at the next question now. Birds usually have a single kidney, lungs, testes or ovary. What do you think? Birds might be having what? So birds usually have a single kidney, lungs, testes or ovary. What is the correct answer over here? And yes, again a previous year question from the Cgl part. What do you think? Will it be kidney, lungs? Answer please. See, if I talk about birds now, here birds actually have only one single functional kidney. Okay, And yes, these questions are quite confusing, but since they are asked in the examination, we must be aware of this thing. What I'm saying, again, I'll say the same thing. Birds usually have a single functional ovary. And what is ovary? We are aware of. If I talk about the female sex organs, there, if I talk about the reproductive parts, so here, ovary is the one from where those eggs are released, and for the fertilization process, if I talk about males, from testes we have sperm, and the fertilization location is actually, if I talk about the human body, in the human body we have a tube that is known as fallopian tube. What is that? There's a tube that is known as fallopian tube where this sperm cell from the male and egg cell from the female actually fuses together, and when they fuse together, they form what? They form zygote. So these questions are asked in the examination. After the fusion of the sperm and egg, what is formed? That is zygote. Where is this fusion taking place? That is your fallopian tube. If I'll talk about ovary, it is a female part. If I'll talk about testes, it is a male part. And the most important thing is, if I'll talk about birds, so they are only having a single functional ovary. Okay, so let's move forward to the next question. Next is, which of the following blood group is universal acceptor? So we have 4 options here. Is there anyone who is there in the doubt with option A or B? If there's doubt, please let me know so that I can go in detail. Otherwise, we'll just understand. If I'm talking about blood group, who was the one who has given this blood group? So he was Carl Landsteiner. And if someone asks you, who is the one who has discovered blood circulatory system? Another question from the Cgl part. If someone asks you about blood circulatory system, so it was studied by whom? So he was William Harvey. Very important, right? Now, if I'll talk about these blood groups, we have A, B, AB and O. But if I'll talk about RH factor also, so it will come to positive negative part. That is A positive A negative, B positive B negative, AB positive AB negative and O positive O negative. But apart from all those facts, this is the important one. What is that? O negative is the universal donor. That is, it would be universal donor. But if I talk about universal acceptor, what is going to be the correct answer? For the universal acceptor, you are going to have AB positive, which will be universal acceptor, right? So here, what is the correct answer? The correct answer would be, this is actually wrong. If I'll write about donor over here, only then O negative will be the correct answer. Question was universal acceptor. So acceptor is going to be AB positive. Rohit, got my point? Because you also gave O negative as the answer. Even while creating the PPT, I gave that wrong answer. Because O negative is the one which can actually donate the blood, right? Totally correct. Great, great. Awesome. Let's have a look at the next question now. Which among the following carries impure blood to the heart? Now this is very, very important. Here confusion can be there in the examination. Very, very important for the examination. Since it is already asked and has chances of coming again. So let's see who can answer this. Waiting for the answer, please. Answer. What do you think? What is the correct answer over here? Achha, I told donor. Okay, then it is okay. Cool. Fine. Actually, while creating question also, the thing which was there in my mind was donor only. Okay. So yes, this question please. Which among the following carries impure blood to the human heart? And here confusion can be there. I know. That's why I want answer from everyone. Young Kumar, are you there? If you are there, please try to answer this question. This question might create confusion. So Rohit is going with C. Young and all the other candidates who are there in the session, do you also want to go with C? Because this question might create confusion to everyone. And it is important, do not forget, question is not asked that inside the heart, if I'll talk about heart, within the heart it is not asking which is carrying the pure blood or impure blood. It is asking from the body to heart. Since it is asking from body to heart, so here vena cava is going to be the correct answer. Please remember, if I talk about the impure blood to the heart, so towards the heart, this vena cava is playing role, but inside the heart, if it is asking from one of the chamber to another, pure, so it would be pulmonary vein. If I just talking about impure, it would be pulmonary artery. But when it is asking impure blood to the human heart. So here vena cava is going to be answer. So these are the things in which question is twisted in the examination. Do not go with the wrong answer. Okay, so we were talking about Exampur official application, which is one-stop solution for all the government job aspirants. What all things are here? We have live paid course with the test series. We have free subject-wise and topic-wise quiz with the report card. We have job alert, admit card, examination date, all exam previous year PDF with the solution. We have free all India scholarship test with the report card. Then we have topic-wise free live classes. We have free full length and sectional test with the report card. We have free exam-wise PDF and practice set PDF. Then we have daily, weekly, monthly current affair, unlimited subject-wise practice questions. All these things at a single platform. What do you have to do? Just go to the Play Store, type Exampur over there, click on the install button, click on the open part, just do the registration and start using it. Okay, so we have next question here. We have already discussed here vena cava was the correct answer. Next we have other name of platelets is what? Now this question is again from the Cgl part. So what do you think? What is the other name for these platelets? What would be the correct answer? What is going to be the correct answer here? Answer please. What is the other name for platelets? Rohit, Young Kumar, all the others who are there in the session, please like it and share it so that we can have more candidates here. Actually, this session was notified quite late, so that's why I understand there's less crowd today. But yes, it's important. So Rohit is going with A, that is leukocytes. Okay, I'll explain this part. If I'm talking about blood, blood is divided into two parts. One is plasma and another one is platelets. Sorry, one is plasma and another one is, here we'll talk about blood corpuscles. Now if I'll talk about this part where we are talking about this blood corpuscle, we have RBC, then we have WBC, and then we have platelets. Now if I'll talk about a sequence order, please remember, first of all we are discussing about RBC. So it would be in this sequence order. So if I'll talk about platelets, what are they? Platelets are actually thrombocytes. If I'll talk about this leukocytes, these are what? These are WBCs. And if I'll talk about erythrocytes, they are what? These erythrocytes are actually what? They are actually your RBCs. So question was asked another name of platelets. So obviously platelets is not going to be correct here. What is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be thrombocytes. So here, please remember this part is very important. Do not forget. Got my point? Rohit, got this point? Please do not go wrong with this part, because in this case examination is asking this question in one way or the another. Now another question can be what? They can ask you with only these options, which is the part which is giving you immunity, or it can be asked which is known as policeman of the body. Policeman. Why? Because it is fighting against those virus and all. So in this manner you can relate it. So yes, here thrombocyte would be the correct answer. Next we have hemoglobin has highest affinity for what? Now if you don't know about affinity, what is that? Affinity actually means love or affection. So now try to answer this. Hemoglobin has the highest affinity for what? Is it oxygen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, or nitrogen? What do you think? What is the correct answer here? Answer please. Hemoglobin has the highest affinity towards what? Oxygen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, or nitrogen? And yes, this question is very important, because I know in the first go it may go wrong, but Rohit is totally correct here. The correct answer is carbon monoxide. See what happens? Student when sees this question in the first attempt itself, they say that oxygen would be the correct answer. No doubt, hemoglobin loves oxygen. But if I'll try to compare it, first love is carbon monoxide, then second priority is for oxygen. Only then this carbon dioxide and all comes in. So first of all, the priority is given to this carbon monoxide, then it's for the oxygen, right? So here, if I'll talk about this part here, carbon monoxide is the best example. But the thing is that can we relate it with any of the example? Yes, we can. Please remember, when we talk about those unburnt fuels of those automobiles, we have white fumes. Those white fumes, if they enter into a body, what will happen? hemoglobin has highest affinity for carbon monoxide, so it will actually cut the supply of oxygen. And once it cuts the supply of oxygen, what will happen? It will lead to death. Please remember, because of this affinity towards carbon monoxide only, if carbon monoxide enters into a body, oxygen supply gets cut, and because of that, death occurs. Okay, so here option number C, that is carbon monoxide, is going to be the correct answer. Next we have transport of oxygen by the blood takes place with the help of what? Is it erythrocyte, thrombocyte, lymphocyte or leukocyte? What do you think? What would be the correct answer over here? Answer please. My question is, transport of oxygen by blood takes place with the help of what? Is it erythrocytes, thrombocytes, lymphocytes or leukocytes? We have just discussed about it. Where? When we are talking about erythrocytes, they were what? They were RBCs. If I'll talk about thrombocytes, they were what? They were actually your platelets. If I'll talk about leukocytes, they were what? They were WBCs. And lymphocytes, they are actually part of WBCs. So what do you think? What is the correct answer over here? I know there's a confusion with these names, but now you can answer, na? Transportation of oxygen is done by what? What do you think? If you're not aware of this, let me tell you. Transportation of oxygen is done by RBC. If I'll talk about this platelet, it is helping in the blood clotting part. If I'll talk about this WBC, it is helping in the immunity. So everyone has its own significant role. Let's have a more discussion on this part. If I'll talk about this RBC, what is another name for RBC? Another name for RBC is erythrocyte. First thing. Second is, what is its lifespan? So it is having lifespan of 120 days. Apart from this, what it does, it helps in the transportation of oxygen. Where it dies in spleen. That is known as graveyard of the RBC. This is asked in the examination many times. So graveyard of RBC is what? That is actually known as spleen. So these are the important things. Rohit, absolutely correct. Great. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question now. The vitamin that helps in the blood clotting is dash. So is it vitamin C, D, E or K? What do you think? What is the correct answer here? And everyone who is there in the session, please start giving answers. Answer please. Question is, the vitamin which is helping in the blood clotting. What do you think? So Rohit, you are absolutely correct. If I'll go with this option, that is vitamin K, that is totally correct. See, if there is lack of vitamin C, it will lead to what? It will lead to scurvy. If there is lack of vitamin C. If there is lack of vitamin D, it will lead to what? It will lead to rickets, or you can talk about osteomalacia. If I'll talk about vitamin E, here you can talk about impotency, or you can talk about all those issues which may come in old age. So it is actually known as beauty vitamin and yes, anti-aging vitamin. If I'll talk about vitamin K, it is helping in the blood clotting. So if it is lacking, it will help or it will lead to the delay in blood clotting. So yes, option number D, that is vitamin K, would be the correct answer. Next we have, which of the following is a symptom of hemophilia? Now, actually I have, okay. So you can have a look at the three options itself. Hemophilia, heme, you can relate it with the hemoglobin, right? So just try to have a look at this answer. What do you think? What would be the correct answer? And if you want, you can leave fourth option. Just go with these three options. Out of these three options, you will be getting one of the correct answer. I have already given you the hint. That is, D option is eliminated. What is the correct answer here? Night blindness, no clotting of blood or rickets? Hemophilia. Now this hemophilia, heme word is itself telling us about the answer. Where is this hemoglobin present? Obviously in our blood. If I talk about its quantity, in the males we need 14% on an average. If I talk about females, we need 12% on an average. If its value is 7 or less than 7, we say that the person is anemic, that is loss of blood. There's lack of blood in the body, right? So yes, what is the symptom of hemophilia? Obviously, since we are talking about blood, hemoglobin, you can directly say that there would be lack of blood clotting, that is there would be no blood clotting. Okay, so if there's a cut, the bleeding would actually start and there would be no clotting easily. So that is hemophilia. Next we have, how many chambers does a mammalian heart have? Is it 4, 1, 2 or 3? Again, question from the Cgl end. What do you think? How many chambers does a mammalian heart have? Is it 4? Is it 1? Is it 2? Or is it 3? What is the correct answer here? Answer please. How many chambers are there in a mammalian heart? For a mammal, how many chambers are there? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? What do you think? Mammal? No? Just try to think about it. If I'll talk about a mammal, that means we can talk about our example, right? If I'll talk about our example, 4 chambers. Where? If I'll go with the right part, so here we have right auricle, we have right ventricle, left auricle and left ventricle. So we have 4 chambers for a mammal where we can talk about our example. Yes? So here, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is going to be 4. That is option number A. Next. Next we have, which enzyme digests protein in the stomach? So is it trypsin, pepsin, salivary amylase or pancreatic juice? What do you think? So I'll write 4th option here. D option is pancreatic juice. So A, B, C and D. Yes, answer please. Which enzyme digests proteins in the stomach? So is it trypsin, pepsin, salivary amylase or pancreatic juice? What do you think? Since 3 options are only visible here, I have written 4th for you. Enzyme which is digesting protein. So if I'll talk about this digestion part, please remember, for this digestion, if I'll talk about amylase, I gave you the trick, right? AC, remember that trick? So if I'll talk about this amylase, so it is digesting what? It is digesting carbohydrate. If I'll talk about lipase, it is digesting fat. I gave you another trick and that was PP. What was that? P for pepsin and P for protein. So this is again and again asked in the examination. We must not forget. Just try to have a look at this trick. That is PP. Totally correct, Rohit. Absolutely correct. Where if I'll talk about this pepsin, so P for pepsin and P for protein. So pepsin is actually helpful in the digestion of proteins. Okay, so here pepsin is the correct answer. Next we have, where is bile stored? What do you think? What is going to be the correct answer? Where is this bile stored? Can you answer this part? Answer please. Where is this bile stored? Answer please. Waiting for the answer. No? Remember, we have discussed about this bile juice. When I talk about secretion, if I talk about its secretion, please remember, bile juice is secreted from hepatic ducts. Now obviously, since it is serial previous year question session, so we might go in detail here. So, arey war Rohit, correct, totally correct. I thought answer might be liver. True. If I talk about bile juice from hepatic ducts which are present in liver, this bile juice is created. But the question is not asked from where it is secreted. Question is asked where it is stored. So we'll talk about the storage part. Please remember, this is actually stored in gallbladder. So there's a difference. If you will talk about its origination, it is from the liver. In liver also what? Hepatic ducts are there, hepatic cells are there. But if someone asks you about its storage, please remember that is going to be gallbladder. So there's a difference between both the questions and you must not go wrong in any scenario. Remember, created in the liver but stored in the gallbladder, right? Okay, so we have next question here. Protein is considered as dash. So is it a bodybuilder, is it an energy producer, is it a regulator or is it increaser of bulk? So what is that? Answer please. And this would be the last question for the day and then we'll sum up with the session. But yeah, need the answer from everyone. What do you think? What is the correct answer over here? Question is, protein is considered as a dash. So is it bodybuilder? Is it energy producer, regulator or bulk increases? So Rohit is going with C. Sorry, Rohit is going with A. Okay, so Rohit is saying, sir, it would be bodybuilder. And let me tell you, Rohit, you are absolutely correct. Totally correct. Awesome. If I talk about protein, it is a bodybuilder. But one more thing is there, we must remember, when we talk about this protein, what is that? It is nutrient, right? And if I talk about nutrient, nutrient is divided into two parts. One is macronutrient and another one is micronutrient. If I'll talk about macronutrient, we have carbohydrate here, then we have fats here, and then we have proteins here. But Rohit, remember in the micronutrients you have vitamins, and you can talk about other important things like zinc, calcium and all. But the main thing is that when we are talking about carbohydrate over here, carbohydrate is made up of what? Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. But the important and very important fact is, if I talk about protein, we have one more thing, and what's that? That is nitrogen. This is asked in the examination. What is it? Obviously it is made up of carbon, it is made up of hydrogen, and it is also made up of oxygen. But the most important thing is it is also made up of nitrogen. So this is asked in the examination. Protein is the one where nitrogen is also there. Now from where you will be getting this protein? So from both this word bodybuilder itself, we know that when we talk about gyms and all, we know. So when we are talking about gym, that means we are talking about bodybuilding part and all. So please remember, when you will talk about this gym part or bodybuilding part, here if I want to make this body naturally, what I can get? I will be using pulses or dal. So from those pulses and dal, we can actually build our body, right? So yes, it is asked in the examination. All these questions we have done postmortem over here. So nutrients, two categories, macro, micro. In the macro, carbohydrate, fat and protein. Carbohydrate made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. If I'll talk about carbohydrate storage in our body, it is stored in the form of glycogen. If I'll talk about protein, it is again made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, but there nitrogen is also there. And the last thing was for the day, that is in the nitrogen we have, if I want protein, so from where I can get it? I can get it from pulses or dal. Okay, so these were the important questions of the day. Now we'll meet tomorrow between 12 to 1 for the SSC different examinations, that is CHSL, Steno and others, between 12 to 1, and in the evening at the same time for the CGL previous year questions. Why? Okay, so bye bye everyone. Please take care. Enjoy your day.